so the next thing we're going to do is applying some washes to our garment. And let me show you where we find them. So they're not under fabrics, as you may assume. They're under hardware and trims, and then washing texture. And then you can look through them, have a play. I'm going to go into scrapings and select maybe all leg scraping. What we need to do is right click, add as graphic, and then we can click where we want it to be. You could adjust the size here. I found it quite hard to know how big to make it with those numbers. So what I do is I just say okay, and then once it's applied here, you see there's a little circle around. When you go into one of those little kind of arrows here, it gives you the option of dragging it bigger, and then also this circle here you can use to rotate. Okay, so keep in mind that it isn't necessarily as bright as you as white. We change the color afterwards, so don't freak out being like, oh, that's way too much washing, I don't want it to be like this. So the color and the intensity can be adjusted after. So you can also see the lines here, so you can also drag it from side to side or up and down as well. Okay, so that is one thing. And basically where you find it here, it's not under fabrics, it's actually under the second one, which is graphics, and then mirror paste. So here then I may have to adjust it a little bit again. What we can do now is we can adjust the graphic. So you will see that our graphic is not under the fabrics. Actually, while we're in here, see how we had these two fabrics, but we didn't use them in the end? If you didn't use them, you can just delete them here. These ones don't have a rubbish bin next to it because they're new, so you can't just delete them. But these two here, just to keep your fabric selection tidy, you can actually delete them. Then back to our graphics. So the second tab is graphic. In here, when you select it, you can choose change the color. So go to color, and then what I like to do is I pick the actual green color. Obviously, if you make it the same, it won't show, right? But then from there, I pick a wash that I like. You know, you can make it quite dark or a bit lighter as you wish. Okay, so play around with that. Say apply and done when you're happy. Then the next thing in the opacity, you can actually make it more transparent. Okay, so less visible. So play around with that and see what you like. What we can also do now is we can also apply this to our pocket. Play around with it. So this automatically has already the sorry, just take a moment. It already has the color change on it. Oh, actually, if I change the graphic size, it does it for everything. So I'm just going to undo that and just move it around a bit to where I'm happy with it. Duplicate to symmetric pattern. Actually, let's look at our back. I should have probably exactly change this one first till I'm happy and then duplicate it. Or even though I probably would do it anyway. So there we go. And now duplicate to symmetric pattern. And same for the pocket. And then duplicate to symmetric pattern. And then from the front, we can actually delete that one and make sure we duplicate it as well. There we go. Okay, so that's our washes applied. So depending on the wash and how you want to do it, you know, it could be everywhere or not. You can choose where you want to place it and how you want to apply it. It could obviously go higher onto the yoke as well, but because it kind of finishes here, I'm happy with that. Okay, that's it for the washes, the top stitching and all that. Just want to show you one more thing, and that's in render. When you click render, you get a render preview. And then the first one here, interactive render. can be very slow, and initially it looks very pixely, but then eventually it gets a little better. Okay, so this is just for you to have a preview. As I was saying before, the brown does not show through. It is actually the same sheen color as everything else. You can turn it around. And there you go. This is just kind of like a render preview. It always takes a little bit. I'm just going to close that for now. I just wanted to show you. It looks even more realistic, obviously, than this one here, being in higher resolution. Okay, I think that's it for the jeans, the washes, the top stitching, and applying the matching graphics.